major challenges to competition that you see in the market currently? Is the first question that we've got coming through from the users. The major changes in competition that we see coming into the market.
Well, this is Todd Seaver. Since I was the last speaker, I'm fresh off this. I'll take a stab at that. I interpret the question as to being, what are the impediments to competition? What are the dangers to a freely competitive market? I'm going to necessarily have a U.S.-focused perspective on this, but without question, the biggest danger is consolidation through mergers and acquisitions in general, but also just hegemony in a lot of important markets of firms with major market power. And this isn't my thesis, but alone, but it's certainly observable that there's a concentration of power in a few firms in a lot of important markets. And for U.S. consumers in particular, which is who I care about the most, is you couple that trend with the trend of people's access to the United States courts being removed, where a consumer directly contracts with a company. That company is free to include mandatory arbitration provisions and class action waivers. And a big part of business in the United States is now nickel and diming U.S. consumers. So that's a twin danger. That's consolidation, which has the pernicious effect of enabling increasingly widespread use of mandatory arbitration clauses in agreements with consumers.
Super. And the second question that appears quite a lot is about the shift in enforcement priorities. And are there any sort of recent shifts in enforcement priorities to which businesses should really be paying particular attention, or is there any sort of one or two things in particular that businesses should really be concerned about in terms of the prioritization of how things are enforced? And again, that's open to anyone who really wants to take a swing.
This is Travis. I guess I'll take a stab. I would be hesitant to try to predict anything going on in the current administration. I would say that, at least in the U.S., I think cartel enforcement is fairly consistent from from administration to administration. Merger enforcement certainly can swing. I don't know that enough has happened yet to kind of predict exactly where that's going to fall. I do think, and maybe this goes a little bit to the first question, that I think there's sometimes a trend, an under-enforcement trend of horizontal restraints, particularly with Twombly on the civil side, and sometimes an over-enforcement of vertical restraints.